Welcome to the second ever Reviewcast for the Community Bite podcast. It's a special extra episode for you guys when we ever decide to actually review something. So,
I'm still waiting for that Bioshock 2 review.
oh, no, it was Overwatch. We were supposed to review Overwatch, and that just never happened.
Oh, I'd be perfect for that.
Yeah,
Story's
exactly.
horrible. Oh wait, that was supposed to be a joke, and then I realized Overwatch does have a story. Ignore me.
We're gonna be reviewing Rogue One today, and I think it's safe to say, we are all pretty happy. We all came out pretty happy, I'd say.
Way to assume. I'm just kidding. I was pretty happy.
I was ecstatic.
Let's introduce ourselves first because these people aren't going to be on the podcast. So these are different people. So we have Brryan.
Yellow.
We have Darth Marc.
I'm Darth Marky Mark.
And we have Terus as well. Rip Terus. Where is he? He's gone.
He was here a second ago.
Yeah.
The Force is with him.
Yeah, he turned into a Force ghost. And
just like Hayden Christensen.
So yeah, I think we enjoyed ourselves quite a bit. So first part will always be will of course be non-spoiler because we want you to obviously we all want you to go see the movie. I feel like that's an assumed thing, right?
Yeah,
I think we all want if you're a big Star Wars, if you're even like a movie fan, if you're a movie fan, you need to go see this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Terrace back here, Terrace.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is the first. I mean, we've had how many Star Wars movies, including the holiday special?
Oh,
What's
well,
that?
I
No,
mean,
we
if you're
didn't talk
including the
about
holiday special, that would also include the Ewok movies.
Yes, we can't forget the Ewok movies.
How many Ewok movies were there?
A couple. I think like 3, right?
Okay, so if there were 3, then that would mean 9, 10, 11, 11 or 12?
Yes.
12? Yeah.
I seem to be Jedi mind tricked to forgetting those things.
Jedi mind tricked.
There's 12, but 8 that matter.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we get decreased that to like 7 or 6.
But this movie was the first time it was a war movie. This was a war movie. This was two oppositions going at each other. Like This was a war movie. This was like, I mean, there's no way. I mean, this was we Star Wars is one of the biggest franchise, but this was the first war movie that came out from that series.
Yeah, it was very dark. It was very gritty. You know how people used to complain that movies nowadays were getting way too dark and gritty? I'm glad that they did that for Star Wars because I really felt that I was on the ground with these two opposition forces. You can even tell that there's no light, there's no dark. It's really gray. Even the rebellion, who used to be known as squeaky clean, all that, they did no wrong. But this movie was really morally ambiguous, even with their actions.
Yeah, that was a big theme that was great about it, was the moral ambiguity.
Yeah, and then, I mean, obviously, we can't get into spoilers here, obviously, but it really made me like, just the whole movie as a whole was just like, it was about a character story. It wasn't about this guy's good, this guy's bad. It's just about like this group of people coming together and doing something with their lives, basically.
And I was told beautifully too.
Yes, of course. Actually, one of the writers is friends with the Kind of Funny people, so I think they're doing a podcast. They were supposed to do a podcast this Friday with him, and it should be coming up this Monday. So that should be interesting to hear him talk about how his movie, how he wrote this movie, how much percentage of his movie is in the actual movie, and it's
because there were Rogue One books, but I don't know how much they followed the books. How much
How many
is-
of those are canon? Now,
Well, that's the thing is I don't think any of them are canon now, but they still exist and they still maybe take inspiration, but we don't know how much. I don't know at least how much they took because I didn't read the books. But
Yeah, I only own one book of Star Wars and I haven't really gotten into the expanded universe that much. But I think the movie Rogue One did a really good job of like
it was
being
wonderful.
what it is, like a standalone movie.
We need a call sign.
Rogue.
Suicide
Rogue
Squad.
One.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite reviews, I don't think it was a mostly positive review, which I, disagree with obviously, but and said it's more war than stars.
More
And I was
war
like,
than
that's
stars.
actually like that's a good thing. And like I remember earlier when we were talking about how excited we were to see it, and I think you asked me if I thought that there was going to be a lot of Nazi like World War II vibes from it, and I definitely got that from like the beginning first half,
I mean, this was. I mean,
and it did feel really like World War II esque.
honestly, this felt like Saving Private Ryan, the movie. It's Saving Private Ryan Star Wars edition, honestly. Because you had, like Saving Private Ryan was like a small group of
Saving
people.
Private Ryan in space.
Honestly, basically to an extent. Obviously the story isn't the same, but like it was a small group of people doing something that like was for good.
That mattered.
Yeah, that mattered. And so,
I think a lot of people don't realize how much this matters. Like people, like my father's girlfriend still thought that this was this was after Force Awakens, and I was like, no. This is like a super important part of the Star Wars story, and it's finally being told, and that's great.
Yeah, I just want to say that this is how the prequel should have been made, because this is a prequel to.
It is a prequel, yeah.
To the original trilogy.
Prequel
And
to New Hope.
this is how it should have been done, because it leads into that original trilogy. Granted, it was like the same year as the Battle of Yavin, so it's kind of not that hard to lead into it. But this is how the story should have been made for the prequels. There should be some progression into how the events in the original trilogy took place.
I agree.
Yeah, this, this was really good.
This is beyond like it's the prequels. This is beyond better than the prequels. Like it's basically two separate. They're two separate leagues. That's what I'm trying to say. There's two separate leagues.
I agree with a lot of people who are saying that this is the best Star Wars and this is better than Empire. I totally agree. I think it is the best Star Wars yet, and it's not even part of the main story. Well, it's a spin-off.
Well, it's a Star Wars story. That's what.
Yeah, it is a Star Wars story. I think this is the best Star Wars, and I agree with all the people who said that.
I definitely think it's like really good, but a lot of people who aren't really that into Star Wars they'd ask me and be like, "Oh, is it better than the one that came out last year?" And I would be like, "That's something that like I can't really like decide on because I think like Rogue One is granted it's the first Star Wars story that's been told, but I think it is like phenomenal for being a Star Wars story.
I think you gotta let it digest a little bit because it just came out. You gotta let it digest in your system a little bit because that's what I did with The Force Awakens. I still love The Force Awakens. I think it's up there with Empire and all that. And I'm sure over time this will gain momentum to be one of the better ones, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, You think we're ready to go into spoilers?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's hard
I want to talk so much about it.
It's hard to talk about this movie without
Spoilers. I don't know why Darth Vader did the dab.
Oh my god!
Wait. When did he dab?
No, okay. If you haven't seen the movie, I think before we go into spoilers, should you go see the movie? I think
absolutely.
Yes, you should go see the movie. I think
that's unanimous.
I think that's
even if you don't like Star Wars, you should go see the movie.
Oh yeah, even if you don't like Star Wars, because this could be an introduction to Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think
This might as well be the prequel that everyone should watch instead of the 3 other ones.
Yeah, no one should start off with Phantom Menace. They should start with
you go from Rogue One and then you go straight into the original trilogy.
Yeah, like the prequels never happened. So yes, go see
what prequels.
What prequels?
There's only one
exactly.
prequel. It's Rogue One.
Rogue One. Go please see Rogue One. Very fantastic movie. Deserves all the praise it gets.
God, it is such a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
Exactly.
I love it.
So who's excited? So on the spoilers. On the spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, stop watching it. Come back later, and finish our review. Who is excited for Assassin's Creed?
Jesus Christ!
I can't even lie. I'm kind of excited.
I don't want to go see it.
I'm kidding. Okay.
$20 that Jack Patillo goes sees it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, on to the real subject at hand.
On to the one that matters.
Man, fucking Darth Vader, man.
I think we should save that for the end. Oh my god. We'll talk about it towards the end.
So many things could be said about Darth Vader.
I think we should.
Okay, the most surprising thing of the movie.
Question.
Okay, go ahead.
I think we should start from the beginning.
I mean, we're not going to go scene by scene with the movie.
Yeah, not scene by scene, but make our way towards the big stuff.
Okay, fine.
All right, that makes sense.
We get first scene of the movie is you get introduced to what's her name? I've already forgotten all the characters. Goddamn, Jyn Erso.
She's hot, by the way.
She is gorgeous.
Wait, her child. Wait,
and I think
her
child.
No, her Felicity Jones.
I was gonna say, I start off in kid form, and you're like, wow, she's attractive. Okay.
By the way, no opening scrolling scene.
Yes,
I like that. I'm totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what's the point in this? To be honest,
that is true.
It made sense to me.
I mean, the opening scroll would have been something about the third movie, and it's like, what the hell?
Anakin killed the younglings.
Exactly. I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
But yeah, the movie starts off. You have the Imperials going to I don't even remember the planet. But they're going to get Galen Erso, who was a major architect in the Death Star. And now that they have run into some trouble, they need him to come back. But he obviously doesn't want to.
And yeah
I want to know more about his backstory because and he's always a good guy throughout the movie. But how did he? I mean, granted, they do a good. But what I want to know what made him good and what made him because he works for the Empire, but he's doing things for the rebellion. So I want to know.
I don't think they explained it really on how was he a rebel first then Imperial, or was he in the Empire and then decided to go rebel?
It is interesting because apparently, from what I saw, their family is really, really into the Force. They really believe in the Force.
They have the Kyber crystal.
Yeah, they have the Kyber crystal. Her mom always preached the Force is with you and all that stuff, which is a very big theme in this movie, that the Force is with you and all that.
That's another thing I love.
I'm one with the Force is with me.
Yeah, I'm one with the Force is with me. That's another thing I really love about this movie is you only have one Force user, but he doesn't come in until the very end. But you don't have any Force users throughout the entire thing. But the Force is still there. It's still a really prominent thing. And that is so true to all of Star Wars. If you've ever played any of the other games, outside of, the 6 movies, or you've read any of the books, it's all still about the Force, whether you can use the Force or not. And it's great. I love that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that might tie to why Galen wasn't really into the Empire because of, I don't know, how he viewed the Force and all that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Really into the Jedi things. Who knows?
That's one of those things where we need a book about Galen.
Also, shout out that they're using Kyber crystals at all, because that gets that's really deep Star Wars lore.
That was real. The first mention in the movie, maybe.
Yeah, it's the first time they don't even mention it in the prequels about the kyber crystals and all that stuff.
Yeah, the only reason I really know about it is because of the expanded universe and mainly KOTOR. But
Yeah, because like that's
yeah.
how you become a Jedi, right? You have to, or like become a
Yeah,
Padawan.
yeah, because you have all these force powers, and then you actually go and you pick out your kyber crystal, and then you make your own lightsaber. Yeah, it's great that they brought in kyber crystals.
Yeah, because that's like deep lore stuff, and like probably everyone was like, "Oh, kyber crystals, whatever." Yeah, sure, whatever that
That's
is.
the thing. I watched a movie with. I watched the movie. I don't know if you guys watched it with anybody, but the person I was watching it with, he's not a very big Star Wars fan. He really doesn't know too much about it, but I know definitely more than him. That's for sure. And so he doesn't know about the kyber crystals, but this is a chance for him to know, and it's great because it is super important.
But you know what? So we're obviously getting off tangent here, but like, because we're still just talking about the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Well, kyber crystals is a overarching thing throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, because the Death Star uses it and all that stuff, and which I didn't know at all. I didn't know the Death Star used kyber crystals at all. I didn't know that. That was pretty interesting. But moving on a little ahead of that is that like while they were like looking for the files and stuff like that, there was this talk of the black lightsaber, and that just got me really excited for a Mandalorian movie. Like I want that to
I must have missed that comment.
Yeah, they talked. It was like it was on the screen somewhere about black lightsabers, and I was like, oh, because that means like a black lightsaber is like a Mandalorian thing.
Okay, my Wi-Fi obviously died, but are you talking about the dark saber thing?
Yeah, dark saber thing. Yeah.
Oh, nobody noticed that. I don't think in my theater.
I didn't catch that.
Oh,
yeah, it was on the screen somewhere. I don't think they talked about it really, but it was on the screen.
Basically, what was happening is Jen was scrolling through the names of all of the things because she was looking, and eventually she got Stardust. But
Nope, he died.
Oh no.
Rip Wi-Fi. But yeah,
red dark saber in my.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, Terus.
I'm really sorry. I wish I wasn't. I'm currently using the worst laptop I've ever seen because my computer is dying.
Okay, just go back to scrolling and stuff.
Okay, she was scrolling to try to find the plans, and she's looking, and eventually she finds Stardust, but the one right before Stardust, she reads Dark Saber. And I don't think anybody caught that. But I heard it, and my friend, he was ignorant. But I was just like, oh.
That means a Mandalorian movie has to happen. It has to happen.
No. See, here's the thing, though. Because I knew the second she said it, I was then like, oh, wait. That means that they're going to blow this base up. Because they wouldn't just leave that there. And then, of course, they blow the base up. So that means all those plans, all those all that information, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question.
And that you know what? That also makes sense in the 7th movie why everyone's like in the dark. Like this is kind of like the Dark Ages. It's because all the information was destroyed in the.
It's like the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about that story, but.
Okay, we're getting off. We went too forward, and if we stayed on one topic. We went too forward. Okay, so we find out. So we learn about how they're gonna talk about kyber crystals, legitly in this movie, which is really cool. Then it goes like forward in time, obviously, and. You see her in jail or something, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she's in prison.
Yeah, she got.
Which is a good. They cut to that the Imperial labor camp, and I was like, okay, this is so warlike. It's so cool that they put all this stuff in.
And then it's like it goes to it like. Well, the cool thing is like it goes through like everyone that's part of Rogue One's life. Or like what they're doing basically. So it goes to
how they're connected.
So like it talks about the pilot that I'm sorry, the word is escaping me right now. He talks about the pilot, or they show the pilot like goes to what's his name? God,
Saw Guerrero?
Saul Guerrero. Yeah, he's the pilot that like says, okay, God, the word is escaping me. Fuck. What's the word that they use that he like forfeits? No, the rogue pilot
Leaks?
Defected.
defects. He defects.
Yeah,
God, I'm an idiot.
he was a WikiLeak. And then,
He was
Nice.
Edward Snowden.
He was.
he was Edward Snowden, and he got exiled.
So, yeah. So it shows that like what he's going through. It shows what it shows what God fuck. What's the main guy's name? God damn it.
Sir.
Yes.
Calrissian.
You call
Calrissian.
Calrissian, yeah.
Don Glover.
It shows what he's doing, and he's kind of a dick. It's realized like he's actually kind of a dick.
Yeah, he kills the dude.
Yeah, he's like, look, we're gonna be okay, and then shoots him. I was like, wow, all right, dick. Yeah. And then it doesn't show the two Asian guys what they're doing, but it shows them on later.
Yeah, whenever they actually go to the Kyber crystal.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, it's gonna talk about how all four of them and how they all get together, and it shows Jane escaping, and that was really cool, and stuff. Well, I mean, like, okay. This first half of the movie was boring as hell. Can we agree on that at least? Like that, if that was a flaw in this movie, is this first half of the movie was really fucking boring.
I don't know. I was still interested. It definitely wasn't as entertaining as the second half. That's for sure.
No, but the payoff was amazing, which made the first half worth it. I'm not saying, but like
I think it was boring until they got to until the droid was introduced, until Casey was
oh, dude, Andy Serkis kicked it out of the fucking park.
Oh, Casey was my favorite character.
I did not expect like K2 to be like anything like that important or anything like that. But like K2 was like the sneaky, like when I like in the Civil War Reviewcast, I was talking about how Ant-Man and Spider-Man were the best parts of the Civil War movie. This K2 was the sneaky best part of this movie.
K2 and Donnie Yen's character.
Yeah, Donnie Yen's character. Great.
I love Chirrut.
Are you kidding? I'm blind.
That's my
favorite line. Favorite line? Are you kidding me? I'm blind.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but Donnie Yen, he's pretty famous in China, in Chinese movie theaters for playing Ip Man.
Yeah.
So
it's kung fu movies.
So my friend was like saying like Ip Man, he was just like Ip Man, just punch them all. That's how you do things. So
I love the effect on his eyes, like that small detail looks so cool in the movie.
The white contact lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was weird. So did anyone else think that was weird that all the stormtroopers were like whatever with him, like they didn't do anything with him, like he said stop and they all stopped and just like we're like okay sure.
They're like, who are you? I think
I am one with the force. The force is with me. It's as the force wills it.
If we can talk favorite lines in the movie for a second, I just remembered mine. And one, I was happy that they cut out from the trailer the "I rebel" line.
Yeah.
That was in the trailer. I was so happy that wasn't in the final movie.
I understand why it was in the trailer, and I'm glad they did cut it out in the movie.
But my favorite line was in one of the scenes where they're around that round table, and she's talking about like, we have to fight, and all of a sudden you just hear from the background, what is she proposing?
Oh yeah, that was good.
I was like, who is that guy who said that? I died laughing.
My favorite line was whenever K2SO was like, no hostiles detected. Someone pointed out
one
hostile.
Yeah, K2.
Again, K2
literally, you can make a compilation of K2's lines. You're just like, goddamn. Yeah, I mean the writing.
Comedic relief that we needed.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't go like this. I think DC's starting to learn this is that you can't go all in with the darkness. I mean, we love. It's just like the thing with those kind of movies is that there's a reality breaker in our minds that like this isn't like with Batman Begins and Batman and Dark Knight Rises and all that stuff. Yes, it was dark and grounded Batman, but there was lighthearted moments all throughout the movie. Like when Batman first gets his Batmobile and Mr. Fox is like, do you want anything else? And he's like, can I have it in black? And does it come in black?
Yeah.
And it's just like there's like those moments. You need those moments in these kind of movies. Is because we can't just be like dark. My life is shitty. My life is shitty. My life is shitty. Parts because that only works with reality movies like World War II movies and like movies like based in reality, not Star Wars, not superhero movies. And I think DC is starting to figure that out. Thank God, because Justice League is going to be amazing, guys. I promise you. Please go watch Justice League. It's going to be so good.
One of the lines that I didn't like in the movie because I didn't feel like it really fit was when Darth Vader turned around and said, "Careful you don't choke on your aspirations."
I loved it. I actually loved it.
No, that was cheesy. That was not a Darth Vader.
I thought that was a little too cheesy.
It's too.
It did not feel like Darth Vader.
Yeah, that was just like, okay, calm down, calm down.
Okay, Anakin. Spoiler alert, by the way, he's Anakin.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, jeez. Come on
Next time, like Jesus dies in the Bible. Come on, man.
Oh, I just remembered something else that I really liked. During the last final battle, I absolutely loved how they had Red 5 die.
Yeah, just like, well, there's Anakin
Made
Skywalker.
sure. I was like, man, I wonder who's gonna get to replace Red 5, some local farm boy.
Some local farm boy who can hit womp rats from miles away.
Where's Porkins when you need him?
Porkins,
And,
God damn it.
Of course, we had the appearance of C-3PO and R2.
Yeah,
Oh, you gotta extend
the cameos in this movie were great because you also had the dudes from the cantina, the guys who were like,
I love that part.
That was great.
And then Bail Organa showed up, looking old, but still good.
I would say, I think, shout out to like the CG characters, like Leia and
Tarkin.
Tarkin.
I mean, look, I'm against CG, and I mean, I'm against CG in almost any shape and form. I know, like, it's made advancements in movies, but I'm a fan of CG and like retouching things and like making backgrounds and stuff like that. Like, but like they slapped us across the face with CG, and we were like, yes, please slap us again in the face with CG. I think I mean, Grand Moff Tarkin looked great. Princess Leia at the very end looked pretty good.
I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so I've seen the movie twice. The first time was normal with my friends, but the second time, I didn't choose this because I would never see a movie in 3D. But I saw
they probably look terrible in 3D.
Honestly, I want to see
they did because when I saw it in 2D, I was like, "This is great!" Like I was so impressed. I didn't really pay attention to it. I was so impressed with how good the people looked. I saw it in 3D and I went, "Holy shit! Grand Moff Tarkin is CG." I did not realize that the first time I watched it. I couldn't tell, and I
really couldn't tell
about myself. I couldn't tell. I was like, "Man, the makeup department did great." It was like
the makeup department. It sounds exactly like him.
And then as soon as when Princess Leia came on, I was like, okay, like, what did they do? They had to have done some CG. And I looked it up. I looked up the IMDb for who played Princess Leia, and it's some blonde girl from Sweden who doesn't even remotely look close to her.
I saw her name in the credits.
I mean,
my friend was so confused. My friend was like, "Wait, how did they get Leia? Did they just use like really good makeup?" And I was like, "No, it's CG."
Have you seen Carrie Fisher lately?
Yeah,
for real. I was like, "Did you see Force Awakens?"
The cocaine. Let's just safe to say the cocaine has caught up with her. Spoiler alert: she did lots of cocaine. But God, I mean, look, at first I like obviously I had to stew in it, and like at first I was like, man, because the payoff at the end is so perfect. I mean, I think the middle.
So good.
So like in the middle, basically what happens is like they gather together and be like, we need to go do this and save the planet. We need to go steal the plans. Blah blah blah. No, wait, I'm forgetting this biggest, like a huge plot. Like what, like a lot of people's biggest complaint in A New Hope is like, why the fuck is there an exhaust port in the fucking Death Star to destroy the whole thing?
Yeah, I loved how they explained it.
He's like, no, this is this
So
guy's
bad.
revenge. He made the thing, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a super obvious thing, exhaust port, to detonate the whole thing.
I'm so glad they explained it.
Yeah,
Really
it made sense.
New Hope.
I mean, it made sense. It made lots of sense. So, like, thank God they explained that, because now those complainers can shut the hell up.
Yeah, now they can stop it.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie like Rogue One where every single main character dies, and that
Yeah,
I think
Okay.
brought in a really nice touch.
we're getting ahead. We're getting a little ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
No, it's
spoiler.
fine. It's fine. We're in the spoiler section. It's fine.
Can I just say,
why?
I love Gareth Edwards and his ability to make things scale. Like some of those, like the Death Star and the Destroyer, they all look huge on screen. I know that's CG, but his ability to make stuff look absolutely monstrous. Like the AT-AT at the Battle
Oh,
of
that
the Air was
Oh,
just, oh my god! I was like,
That scene was so good.
Yeah, he
When
made.
he shot
tell. You can just
when he shot it with the rocket, and then he's like the head turns back towards
I
the
like how
camera.
it whipped.
Yeah, and I
like
love
the robot took a second. It was like, ow, that hurt.
they had really good sound in the movie too, with like things like such as like the force choke and stuff. But like during that scene, and he turns his head, you hear this like deep like, and it comes back, points right at the camera, and all of a sudden you're brought in with the X-wing hitting it, and it blowing up. But it was just like it was so. Personally, my emotions were like, "Oh no, oh yeah!" I like got super happy.
That scene had to
So
be
good.
really great in 3D. The entire
Yeah.
like battle.
And can we talk about the rebels pushing one Star Destroyer, cutting another one in half, and
That
hitting the
was
shield?
really interesting.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
I was not expecting that.
If I was by myself in the air, I would have like raised my hands into the air. I'm like, oh my god, what's happening?
Oh me, oh my.
I thought to myself when I watched it, I was like, I can't imagine how awesome it must have been to be the guy who worked on that scene and was like, got the assignment for like, hey, I need you to put this Star Destroyer through the other one. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Granted,
At the same time, he probably would have been like, all right, I'm gonna be busy for the next 12 months.
Yeah. God, that must have been so cool.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the whole
Battle.
battle scare was really, really tremendous.
That was
As a
cool.
lot of people have said, it puts the wars back into Star Wars.
It reminded me a lot of the Battle of Hoth, where it's troop soldiers and then you have air support always, but you can tell that the rebels are getting squashed by the Empire.
Yeah, it was so good. Just like that whole final battle scene. And I loved the way they like kept going, from like Cassian and Jin in the tower, and then you have Bodhi trying to set this thing up to go back out. Just like the way it was written out, the way the events played out, I just think it was so awesome. I'm such like a fanboy. I love it.
It's such a fanboy. I mean, no, this movie was really good, and we all had a good time. I mean, there's no way around that, really. I mean, this was what we needed. I mean,
Definitely.
I think everyone was trepidatious before coming into the movie and just being like, we really hope it's good. But man, did it work out for us? I feel like, and this just gives the green light for the Han Solo movie. This gives the green light to the Obi-Wan Kenobi movies that they're hopefully going to do. This gives the green light to the Boba Fett or Boba Fett movies, maybe, or whatever. I mean, I think we're just like, now that we're like, okay, you go ahead. You go ahead and make those Star Wars stories, okay? Go ahead, girl.
I was watching this and just thinking, man, if you really think about it, like, Star Wars has only had 6 movies that matter until Force Awakens came out. And then Force Awakens came out, and it's like, it after so many years, and it's just revitalized the series. And now we're going to get a huge amount of content. One of the reasons I've always not been a fan of Star Trek is there's always been so much. And I realized while watching this movie, that's going to be Star Wars. We're going to have so much content in the next 10 years.
It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Love it.
It's a wonderful time to be a Star Wars
fan.
fan.
And it's everywhere too, which is really cool. Even when granted, I hate car commercials. There's Star Wars and car commercials.
Oh yeah, they do Star Wars nights at the Dallas Mavericks arena. I was, I think, a week ahead when they did Star Wars night. I should have went a little later because I would have been all over Star Wars night.
I'm so glad Disney bought Star Wars.
Yeah, they're doing it right. Obviously, they're doing something right. I mean,
some people
have you noticed that the best Star Wars movies is the ones where George Lucas is the least part of?
Yeah, George Lucas is the least involved.
I have my money.
With the exception of A New Hope, the best movies are
Hey, okay, we can shit on George Lucas all we want. I think he does have some good stories in him because he made Clone Wars, and Clone Wars is awesome. Right? Clone Wars is pretty cool, right? I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I like.
I think that we should be very thankful that he created such a wonderful universe.
We really should be.
Just don't do anything else.
Just don't do anything else.
I think he's a great world builder. I don't think he's a great storyteller. Right?
I agree.
You guys see where I come from?
Yeah.
The world of Star Wars is magnificent. I love it to death. Don't tell many stories. Let other people handle that.
Okay.
I definitely agree.
So, Brryan, you've said your favorite moment from the movie, correct?
Yeah, I've said a couple of my favorites.
Marc, did you say your favorite moment from the movie?
My favorite moment from the movie. Well, it's got to be my second favorite because my first favorite was Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Let me talk about that. Allow me to have something.
My second favorite moment was when they first fired the Death Star on Jeddah City, and you see the Rogue Squadron flying through the debris and the explosion. It was just terrifying.
Shout out to holding back on that scene. That wasn't them destroying the planet; it was just destroying the city. Correct? I feel like
that was a percentage of the power of the Death Star, and it was still terrifying.
They could have literally gone. A regular writer would have been like, "Let's actually just go all in. Fuck it. Let's just destroy the whole planet." But no, that was so smart of them to say, "No, let's hold this back. Let's hold back on this."
They made it a plot device, and that's great.
Exactly. Not this all. I mean, we all know where the Death Star is going. It's going to be a star. It's going to be It's going to planet destroyer. But let's hold back here. This is the preliminaries of the Death Star. It only destroys countries basically, and man, that scene, yes, it's just like you felt like, oh, this is it for them. They're done. They're donezo. Goodbye.
The greatest part about it, I think, is it keeps the impact of the New Hope destruction. Because in the New Hope, it was one of those things where it's like, all right, Leia, watch as our first shot blows your planet up, and it's still impactful. It's not anymore. It's not like, oh yeah, we killed Jeddah that one time. Now here we go and destroy this planet. It is, we blew up some of Jeddah, but here we're gonna blow up an entire planet.
Yes, it's still
meaningful.
It still, yes, that's very smart. That's a good thing. Why they made it another conservative move with that is because they still made that Leia planet explosion important. They still made it like a big thing. That's very smart.
Rip Alderaan.
Rip Alderaan, indeed.
Rip Alderaan.
Terus, what was your favorite moment?
I said my favorite line. Are you kidding me? I'm blind. I still can't get over that.
Excellent line. Excellent writing in that scene, or maybe improvisation. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, it would be great if that was improv. My favorite moment. Gosh, really what comes down to me thinking that is just what gave me the most amount of chills, and really that was Darth Vader. So I'll just leave that to you, Tito.
Thank you.
That's all of our favorite moments. I think that's everybody's favorite moment.
Thank you for allowing me to have the climax. Man,
I did also like. So sorry, Tito.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I did like the scene where Jin is like watching the message, and she's like crying, because that like brought, I don't know why, but it brought tears to my eyes too, watching her, because like at that point in the movie we were so like relatable to Jin in a way that like we understood her and her story, and I felt such like a deep connection during that part, and I cried a little bit.
I mean, the end of the movie was that's the thing. The end battle of that movie is what makes up for that first half for being boring to me. The end of that movie just makes up for it.
I agree.
And it makes up for the whole movie. It makes so that if you just go by the first half, the movie's like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But then the end of the movie makes it easily 8 out of 9 out of 10. Easily 8.5, 9 out of 10.
I've never seen 5 minutes of a movie push a movie from good to fantastic.
Yeah, because it just pays off. Everything just pays off perfectly. It pays off.
Let's talk Vader.
Darth Vader. Look.
Let's talk Vader.
I mean, everyone, like, in episode 7, everyone makes fun of Luke Skywalker. He doesn't say anything, shows up for only like 5 minutes in the movie. And everyone's like, oh my god, it's Luke Skywalker, blah, blah, blah. It's like a big freak out moment. Darth Vader, probably the total time he was in this movie was like probably like 10 minutes. And goddamn.
He stole it.
Let me repeat myself. Goddamn.
I second that.
He fucked shit up. Look, so this is another problem I have with the prequels. Lightsaber battles didn't matter. They didn't matter at all. Because everyone was just jumping around, doing their own thing, just like doing force shit. It was like, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
I agree. They didn't matter, but at the same time, they were cool.
Yeah, so I don't care if they're cool. It needs to matter. That's what's cool to me, that it matters, though. That's the thing.
I agree. It needs to matter, but at the same time, Darth Vader specifically, he made it matter, and it was cool.
Exactly, because he was just fucking dominating people. That just showed how powerful just having a lightsaber was. It's just like, I'm going to dominate you, I'm going to take my dick out, and I'm going to put it in your mouth, and you're going to like it. That's pretty much what he did at the very end of the movie. He took his dick out. He took his dick out and just mollywopped the fucking rebels like it was nobody's business.
Have the movies? Really have the movies shown how powerful Darth Vader is? Because I think this is the first movie that really showed how powerful he was.
I mean, they showed how powerful he was in. I mean, every Force scene that he does, it shows how powerful he is in The New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and like, I mean, I'd say this is the first time he goes all out, because he doesn't really go all out against Luke in Empire Strikes Back or in A Return of the Jedi. I mean, I guess he does go out with Ben Kenobi, but it was like, but Ben Kenobi wasn't going all out. That's the thing.
Yeah, everybody was holding back.
But then he was like, all right, I gotta do my job. That's what he was doing. This is my job. I gotta do my job. And his
job was so cool.
He literally just like, and they were like, it just shows how fucking desperate they were to get those plans out. It's just like they had it in their hand. That guy honestly also stole the show. The guy freaking out about Darth Vader. He's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and he's trying to hand off the plans through the door. That was so tense.
I loved that scene where there's all the troopers in the hallway, and you're like, okay, now it's the shot of the door. The door's gonna explode, and then stormtroopers gonna come out. All of a sudden, the only light you see, Darth Vader's lightsaber comes out, and I flipped. I was like, oh no, because they're gonna die, obviously. Oh God, that was
And it
that
just
was
this
that was
just
probably my favorite shot. in the
that
movie.
first half that adds so much. It adds so much like tenseness to that first 5 minutes of New Hope. It adds so much to New Hope now because like now you're like, oh my god, they literally just got the plans and are running for their lives right now. They're just running away right now.
It made me. I've never desired a remake more than I did right as I saw that shot of the ship flying away as they have the plans. I never desired a remake more because I was just like, I just want to watch New Hope right now, but I want to watch it with like these amazing graphics and like this great directing. And I mean, New Hope's good. Don't get me wrong, but God, imagine if it just went straight into New Hope.
I think one of my favorite cameos during that last scene was Captain Antilles. That he like was on. He's just like arm the cannons and ready the escape pods. And all I thought to myself was like, I know how you die.
I know how you die.
But yeah, they really did well with making Vader look like a monster. Just like how Gareth Edwards, he also directed Godzilla, and he did an excellent job of making Godzilla look like a true monster. They did the same thing with Darth Vader. Like, holy shit, I'm gonna poop my pants. Like, how the guy was like banging on the door, he's like, help me, help us, or save us. And then he realized, like, towards the end, I am not making through this. You take the plants, I'm going to die.
That like helped me scene and like watching them like try and pull that door open for his life. That was the first time I felt so like relatable to the soldiers, because before they're just mindless troopers that just come and fight, but like this time they're real people, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is devastating for Vader.
Oh man.
Yeah, and Vader like showing off his force powers in that tiny corridor. Like the one of the things I love is he did what I've always wanted force users to do, where he lifted someone up to the ceiling and then sliced them, and that was so cool. And he was like creative with every way he killed them, and it was horrifying. It was great. I was too young whenever Vader was like a threat, because by the time I was a Star Wars fan, I had already seen Vader's face on like plates and crap like that. And this was the first time that I was actually able to see Vader as terrifying. And
yeah, you gotta remember too, this is Anakin Skywalker. He was the single most powerful Jedi, probably.
Up until Luke, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just turned into Darth Vader, basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was. Wasn't it like? Wasn't there like a 15-year gap?
Well, yeah, there might have been a small gap. Yeah, you're right. But like, it shows him like coming out of like this, I don't know, like tube or something like that.
Yeah,
some like test tube thing
or whatever.
And he doesn't have his suit on during that, which is kind of interesting.
Well, honestly, I didn't really like that scene too much as an introduction to Vader, because it almost felt like it showed him as vulnerable, and to some degree that's necessary, but on another degree, I kind of felt like it would have been better if they started off showing Vader with that scene where he confronts, I forget the dude's name, he was wearing white.
Captain Kirk? Don't ask me why I know all the names.
Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, Admiral Akbar.
It's a trap!
Whenever Vader has a meeting with Admiral Akbar.
Skennick.
Yeah, it's Skennick.
Director Skennick.
Yeah. And if they'd started off with that scene introducing Vader, I personally think it would have been better than showing the healing tube thing. But the healing tube thing was still so great. Because you knew whenever the dude crouched down and said, what did he say? He said something along the lines of like, my lord, or something like that. And you were just like, oh, it's Vader.
I would like to make a correction. It's Krennic. Or Krennic, excuse me. Krennic.
You're
The dude who gets choked.
How does Bernie say it in Crunch Time? You're fucked. Oh, man. God, this movie was so good.
So
I mean, I've never been so pleased I haven't been pleased since Civil War. Like, I see this thing right after this, we're doing our Best of the Year podcast. And no, I haven't made a decision on what my best movie of the year has been yet.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
It'll be Assassin's Creed.
Or Suicide Squad. I can't tell. I can't choose.
Really, it's...
You gotta really look at what came out this year, because Civil War came out, and that was really good.
This is the thing, though. I love seeing those Oscar movies, though. This is the thing.
Arrival came out?
Arrival sucks. I'm sorry. I hated Arrival.
What? You didn't like it?
I loved 3/4 of the movie. I loved I can.
Okay, we'll talk about it on the podcast. Or we'll talk about it some other time.
Yeah.
We'll delve into some spoilers there.
Yeah.
I know what part you don't like.
Yes.
I absolutely know.
Okay. Please go see Rogue One, please. So they make more a Star Wars story movies.
Oh yeah, we need more a Star Wars story movies that are good.
Yes, that are good. Yes, but
we don't want the Ewok movies.
Overall, 7 out of 10 for the first half, 12 out of 10.
12 just took it into overdrive.
Ratcheted it up. I was just like, holy fucking shit!
My
Red
God.
5 standing by.
Red 5 standing by. All right, go see the movie, please, guys. Go see it. Great. Yeah, this is a trend.
What is she proposing?
I'm one with the force. The force is with me.